You've probably been told nuts are healthy, and they are. But here's what almost nobody tells you. The wrong nut, eaten at the wrong time, can spike your blood sugar more than you'd ever expect. Today, we're ranking every common nut from best to worst for blood sugar control. And the one sitting at the very bottom of this list, most seniors eat it every single day, thinking it's a smart choice. Stay with me because that reveal might change your morning routine completely. Why nuts affect blood sugar differently? Here's something important to understand first. Nuts are not all built the same way. Some are rich in healthy fats and fiber, which slow down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream. Others carry more carbohydrates, and that changes everything. Think of your bloodstream like a highway. A steady, slow flow keeps traffic moving smoothly, but a sudden rush of sugar is like every car entering the highway at once. Chaos, congestion, and your body scrambling to catch up. A common misunderstanding is that natural automatically means safe for blood sugar. That's not always true. Some natural foods still carry enough carbohydrates to cause a noticeable rise, especially for people managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. And when we get to the rankings, you may be surprised which nut sits right at the top and which one most people would never suspect at the bottom. The best nuts for blood sugar, starting at the top. Number 1 is pecans. Pecans have one of the lowest carbohydrate counts of any nut, roughly 4 grams per ounce. They're rich in monounsaturated fats, which research published in the journal Nutrients suggests may help improve insulin sensitivity over time. They have a mild, buttery flavor and a satisfying crunch. 1 ounce, about 19 halves, is a reasonable daily portion. Number 2 is walnuts. Walnuts are exceptional because they also contain plant-based omega-3 fatty acids. According to research supported by the NIH, omega-3s are associated with reduced inflammation, which plays a significant role in blood sugar regulation. They taste slightly bitter and earthy. Some people love them, some need time to adjust, but for blood sugar, they earn their high ranking. Number 3 is almonds. Almonds are probably the most well-studied nut for blood sugar. A study referenced by the American Diabetes Association found that eating almonds before a meal may help reduce the post-meal blood sugar rise. They're high in magnesium, a mineral many older adults are deficient in, and magnesium plays a direct role in how your body processes insulin. The misunderstanding here is portion size. Many people grab a large handful and don't realize they've eaten 2 or 3 servings. 1 ounce, about 23 almonds, is the sweet spot. Now here's the moment I promised you. The nut that seems the healthiest, the one marketed for heart health, sold in every grocery store and added to trail mix everywhere, may be one of the worst choices for your blood sugar. We're talking about cashews, and we'll get there in just a moment. But before we do, there are 2 more solid choices you should know about because most seniors are skipping them entirely. Pistachios land in the middle of our ranking. They contain more carbohydrates than almonds or pecans, about 8 grams per ounce, but they also come with fiber and protein that help buffer that effect. One interesting advantage of pistachios is their shells. Research suggests people tend to eat fewer pistachios when they shell them one by one. That built-in portion control may actually make them more practical than nuts you can grab by the fistful. Peanuts, yes, technically a legume, but they behave nutritionally like a nut, rank solidly in the middle as well. They have a low glycemic index, meaning they cause a slow, modest rise in blood sugar. They're affordable, accessible, and filling. The misunderstanding with peanuts is the form they come in. A plain peanut is very different from a honey-roasted, salted, or flavored variety. Always read the label. Added sugar and salt change the picture entirely. Now, cashews. Cashews contain nearly 9 grams of carbohydrates per ounce, more than almost any other nut. They're also lower in fiber, which means less of a buffer against that blood sugar rise. They taste creamy, almost sweet, and that's not a coincidence. They carry more natural sugars than their crunchy counterparts. This doesn't mean cashews are forbidden, but for someone managing blood sugar, eating a large portion of cashews regularly, as Margaret in our story was doing every single day, can quietly chip away at your fasting numbers over time. And there's one more nut worth mentioning before we move into the solution, one that's often overlooked but may genuinely support blood sugar stability in a unique way. Brazil nuts round out our list. They're high in selenium, a powerful antioxidant, but also high in fat and calories, and 1 or 2 is truly all you need per day. More than that offers no extra benefit and may cause other concerns. For blood sugar specifically, they're neutral, not harmful, not especially helpful. Solution. Safety reminder first. If you take medication for diabetes or blood sugar, please do not make dramatic changes to your diet without talking to your doctor. Even healthy foods can interact with how your medication works. Here's a practical approach based on what the research suggests. Build your nut routine around pecans, walnuts, and almonds as your primary choices. Keep your daily portion to 1 ounce, roughly a small handful that fits in your palm. Eating nuts with a meal or just before one may help slow the blood sugar rise from the rest of your food. That timing matters more than most people realize. Avoid flavored, salted, or honey-roasted varieties whenever possible. The nut itself may be beneficial, but what's added to it can cancel that out quickly. If you enjoy cashews or pistachios, you don't have to give them up. Simply be more mindful of how much and how often, and pair them with something that has fiber or protein to slow the effect. And as for Margaret from Ohio, once she swapped her daily cashew habit for a small handful of almonds and walnuts, her dietitian noted a gradual improvement in her fasting numbers over several weeks. No dramatic change, no miracle, just a smarter swap made consistently. When to see your doctor. If your blood sugar readings are consistently above your target range, or if you're experiencing unusual fatigue, frequent thirst, or blurry vision, don't rely on dietary changes alone. See your healthcare provider promptly. Challenge. Here's a gentle 5-day challenge worth trying. For the next 5 days, replace whatever nut you currently snack on with 1 ounce of walnuts or almonds, plain, unsalted, and unroasted if possible. Eat them with a meal rather than alone. Don't expect dramatic results overnight. Blood sugar improvement from dietary changes takes time, sometimes weeks, but small, consistent changes are exactly how lasting progress is built. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet, you just need to make one smarter choice repeated daily. That's something every single one of us can do. Now, nuts are just one piece of the puzzle, because here's something most people don't consider. It's not just what you eat, it's what you eat it with that determines how your blood sugar responds. There are certain food combinations that can dramatically blunt a blood sugar spike, even when one of the foods alone would cause a rise. And one of those combinations involves something most seniors already have in their kitchen every single morning. The research on this is surprisingly clear, and the results some people report are